Hotepu, this is King Ra Sumaba Ifagbemi, the world's first openly gay African king, and I come to you to bring forth information about the ancient zodiacs of Africa, in particular the highest zodiacs, those of the blacks of the Nile Valley of Kemet, ancient Egypt. And what you're seeing on the screen here is an image of the Zodiac of Kemet that has not been seen since the days of the Middle Kingdom of Egypt, the Second Golden Age. And what it identifies is the gods, goddesses, and the names of the month in ancient Rinkam, ancient Egyptian, of how the blacks of Kemet saw their sky. Now, this is an introductory class on this topic. I'm going to go very much in depth in future videos, and for those who become members on our King Ra channel or website, we'll get much more information about details, words of power, how to analyze the charts. I'll be teaching astrology through classes to the members and those that sign up, but I'll also be teaching a lot of things online. So this wheel shows the secret gods of the Egyptian zodiac. And to understand this calendar, you have to understand one key concept of Kemet, which is shown in this next image here of this hawk. Now, if you look at it carefully, you'll observe that you're looking at the hawk from many angles at one time. This dynamic of Kemetic art is called simultaneity. Many things all at the same time. For example, you'll see here, this wing, you're looking actually at the underwing, the underside of the hawk's wing. At the same time, simultaneously, this wing you're seeing the top of the hawk's wing. At the same time yet, you're seeing the side of the hawk's face. You see, at the same time again, you're seeing the bottom underside of his wing. Okay? At the same time, you're seeing the front of this eye. So you're seeing the bottom of the hawk's wings, the top of the hawk's wings, the side of the hawk, the underside of the tail feathers here, and the front of an eye. You're also seeing here the front of a disc, but the side of a snake. So you're seeing many perspectives artistically at one time. This is typical classic Kemetic way of thinking, that things happen simultaneously. You can't separate things into little boxes and segregate them into this little slice and that little slice. Life happens all at once. So this way of drawing their art forms reminded the initiates, never look at only one perspective of any situation. Look at it from as many angles at the same time, because they're all true, as possible. It's a very holistic way of looking at things. So to go back to our image here, to understand the Denderah's zodiac, it's an event of simultaneity. This wheel contains layers of wheels. It talks about sidereal astrology is shown here. Tropical astrology is shown here. Planetology, or planet astrology is shown here. So it's a different way of looking at a wheel. In the West, you have either a tropical chart or a distinct sidereal fixed star chart or star chart. They're never simultaneously observed. But that's not true in Kemet. And the reason why this has become so clear through my throne is because in Africa, the gay people, the homosexual and lesbian people of Africa, have always been, since time immemorial, been what's called the gatekeepers, the great astrologers and astronomers of the continent. So clearly, this kind of information would come through a gay king priest, in line with my tradition of those that came before me, who were also homosexual, yes, from Africa. And the gift that gay people have to give the world, particularly Africans, is the power of astrology and prophecy. The great prophets, witch doctors, and astrologers were disproportionately focused in the gay community of Africa. Okay? Some of you may not like that, yet it still is true. Now, here we see the wheel with words here, Akhet, Peret, Shemu. These correspond to the Kemetic 3 seasons. They didn't have 4 seasons, they had 3 seasons. We have spring, summer, fall, winter. The Kamau also had a 4-cycle season, but that was kept kind of quiet because it grants a lot of power. The 3-slice season, Akhet, Peret, Shemu, yes, which you have the flooding, the seeding, and the harvesting seasons. Note they are what's called a trine in astrology, meaning 5 places from each other, 5 houses. You see the number 1? We count here. Slice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 5th line, a new season starts. Count 5 again, with 5 being your first pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, a new season, Shemu. So it divides the chart into this kind of peace sign here. If you follow this black line here, and it splits into 2 this way, and then down this way, like a peace sign. That peace sign means a trine. And I'll discuss in future classes the power of that trine. The trine is the pyramid shape, like a triangle, the most balanced shape for building. And they want to divide their seasons into the most balanced way of structuring, relating to them. So, these words, Akhet, Peret, Shemu, refer to seasons, which is a tropical conversation, tropical astrology. The seasons have nothing to do with the stars. So here we have inside of here a tropical conversation, tropical astrology chart. But these gods and goddesses you see in the pictures around the circle correspond to sidereal star gods. A sidereal chart. So you're seeing here simultaneity. These words are tropical designations. These pictures with these names are sidereal designations at the same time in the same chart. Astounding. There is no astrology in the world that does this, that has this simultaneity. So, here we have an image, a large name, a name written in large font, and then words here in Egyptian, ancient Rimkam or Egyptian. So, this is the first house. This is the second house here. You follow the numbers on the rim of the circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th house, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So you have the numbers along the rim. They tell you what pizza slice or house you're in. Then the numbers inside here, they repeat in 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4. So each season, the season of Akhet has 4 months. The season of Peret has 4 months. The season of Shemu also has 4 months. Okay? So, we have 12 gods, 3 seasons, 4 gods per season. 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay? Now, these names in large print are the gods or goddesses of the Kemetic calendar, the black people's calendar of Egypt, for each of these 12 slices of pizza pie or houses from 1 to 12. So Ast owns the first slice, or first house. Ma'at, here, owns the second. Serket, the Scorpion Queen, owns the third. Wachet, the fourth. Anpu, the fifth. Haru, the sixth. Ta'urt, the Hippo of the seventh house. Amun owns the eighth. Het Haru owns the ninth. Nefertemu, the 10th. Sobek, the crocodile god, owns the 11th. And Sekhmet, the rage, the woman's rage, owns the 12th. Okay? These gods have been hidden from all African astrology wheels until the modern age. Okay? Now, each god or goddess is the spirit or the genie or the genius of each month. Let's talk about quickly this first month. Why is it the first month? This is the month in which the Heliacal rising of Sirius occurs, called Peret Sopedu or Peret Sopedet. The Heliacal rising of Sirius happens at different locations of the Earth at different times, but once a year. Every 365.25 days, this star will rise from invisibility back to an appearance at sunrise. Okay? When that happens, it sets this circle of gods and goddesses in motion. The parade begins with the Heliacal rising of Sirius. Then Ost flips on. Now, each Kemetic month had 30 days. Every month, not 29, not 28, not 31, not 30. Every single month has 30 days. So Ost rules for 30 days, Ma'at ruled for 30 days, Serket for 30 days, all the way around. We had much more stability in our calendrics. Now, these words here in ancient Rinkam or Egyptian tell you the name of the month. So a month had two allocations: the month's name and the god of the month. So here we have Tekhi or Tekheb, whose goddess is Ast. Here we have month 2. The name of that month is what? Ptah Anebra Menkhet Heb Apet. Who is the goddess? Ma'at. Month 3 is called Serket. Month 3 is called Het-Hert. Who is the goddess? Serket. Month 4 is called Sekhet Kaher Kaheb, whose goddess is Watchet. The 5th month is called Amsu or Min or Chef Beti, whose goddess Anpu. The 6th month, the name of the month is Rech-Ur or Machyar, which means fire altar, whose goddess Haru. Here we have Ta'urt, Rech-Necha. The month is called Rech-Necha, whose goddess is Ta'urt. 8th month is called Renunet, whose god is Amun. My video, when I went into trance a few weeks ago, and it's on the YouTube channel, when Amun spoke through my person, it was at the end of this month that Amun spoke, and that's why he spoke about your name, because Amun appears in the African zodiac in the month called Renunet, which means the goddess of your name. The 9th month is called Konsu, whose goddess is Het-Heru. The 10th month's name is Khenchi, or Heru Khent, Heb Anet, whose god is Nefertem. The 11th month's name is Apet, or Apet Henet, or Heb Apichenet, whose god is Sobek. And the 12th month's name is Heru Kheb, Apet Renpet, Hebdep, whose goddess is Sekhmet. So every month has a month's name and a goddess or god that comes through that month. And that's it. Each month is what? 30 days long. And then in a future video I'll explain how each of these 30-day months had 3 weeks each. You divide slice number 1 into 3 equal slices, into thirds, 10, 20, 30 total degrees. Each sub-slice was 10 degrees long. You've got 3 of those, that's 30. 3 times 10 is 30. Those are the deacons. Okay? So, for example, the way they would say the income, let's say you were born here in Serket. They would say you were born in the 3rd month of the season of Akhet, on whatever day it was, the 5th or 8th or 15th of that day, in the month called Hethert, ruled by Serket. I'll repeat it again. If you're born in this 3rd slice of the year, the Kamau way of saying it would be, behold, in the 3rd month of the season of Akhet, whose month is called Hethert and whose goddess is Serket, on the 5th or 12th or 27th day of this month, so-and-so was born. Okay, let's try one more. Let's say you're born here. In this part of time, they would say, in the 1st month of the season of Shemu, in the month of Konsu, whose goddess is Heteru, on the 7th or 4th or 26th day of this month, so-and-so was born. That's the way the Egyptians wrote their dates. That's how they annotated the dates. Okay? Now, there's a lot hiding in this zodiac. A lot of information. The key thing was to get the math right. Was to use my NASA programs to decode the stars from the Denderah zodiac to get the right mathematics. And I have been using this technique, and it works. It's dead on. It's a completely new astrology, yet a completely ancient astrology. But modern people have never seen anything like this. It is simultaneity. It is both tropical and sidereal. It has the supergalactic poles involved. It's not just this galaxy plane, but it's astounding what's packed into this system. So in future videos, I will go more into this. I will go more into who are these gods and goddesses. What do these names mean? I gave you a clue, for example, over here. Rekech-ur means great flame. Machiar means fire altar, an altar upon which the sacred flame sits. And Heru, who is the hero god, the god of fire, is the genie of this time, the god of this cycle of time, this slice of time. And the 6th house often deals with destroying enemies and removing diseases. And he is kind of a sun god, and the sun god is known for removing diseases. So it gives you a whole new layer of understanding charts. And the math is right. I use very complicated algorithms to decode this. I have them now ensconced in our gay system. I can now decode anyone's birthday and nail it exactly correct. We'll go into that. We'll go into how the deacons work, how the fixed stars work, how the Kamal described or explained a star in your chart. When Ma'at enters the west, so and so happens. Such and such goes on. That means when Ma'at, actually the phrase was when Ma'at goes beyond the realm of the gods. That means that star is setting while the sun is setting. What's called a chronicle setting of a star. So I've decoded all the star names, the ways in which the blacks of Kemet discussed stars, how they talked about a chart, the gods of the chart, the names of the months, and I want to end by showing you this page here, this sheet from Wallace Budge's book, The Gods of the Egyptians, Volume 2. And here we're on page 292 and 293 of that text. And down here, section 3, it says the gods and goddesses of the months of the year. Okay? Now, you'll see here the name of the deity, Teki, Ptah Aneb Resfe, Het Hert, Sekhet, Amsu, Rekeh Ur, which we saw before, Rekeh Nejes, which we saw, Renunet, which was Amun's month, Konsu, Kenchi, Apet, Herukohuti. Okay? So if we go back to this image, this should be Herukeb or Herukohuti here. But here's Rekeh Ur, yes? And here it is, Rekeh Ur. So I have taken very strict academic rigor to correlate what you see on this wheel with the top academic documents on Kemet astrology. Sir Budge is the leading authority on this, to make sure it's correct. Now you notice here, there are not the gods I mentioned like Ma'at and Haru. They're not listed here because that was kept secret by the Kamau. Okay? And down here at the footnotes, you see various names of spelling some of these. Here's that Machyar here, we saw before, Machyar. Under Rekeh Ur, we jump back really quickly here. Rekeh Ur Machyar. I got it strictly from the Budge scholastic records. Okay? What Budge does not have are the secret gods, who are the images you saw in the wheel, and the words of power. He does not know that, of course. He's no priest. He's just a scholar. And this is a very exciting time in history to have this come back, because now the ancient way of predicting can happen again. This is really a prophecy tool, a tool of prophesizing based upon tropical and sidereal movements of the stars and of the Earth, Sun, and planets. Okay, so that brings us to a wrap on this first intro to this wheel. Stay tuned for much more. And remember, I'm going to teach much more online, but the real meat and potatoes I'll teach to members, and very soon we'll have a membership available online to enroll and to get the real teachings, the real depth teachings. So, I pray you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit like and share this video with your friends. Become subscribed and help me to spread this information around the world, because this is the light of Africa. The stars of Africa have come back to shine upon all peoples of the world. I want to thank my gay ancestors for bringing this forth from the Duat, the spirit world, and may the rainbow of the gay ancient masters of Africa shine across the world. Dwawend Hotepu.